They're just swinging
Are
and
they
knifing each other.
are they both blind? How are they like not instantly killing each other? Jane was prepared to finally end Jeff, dodging his attacks and making a swing of her own. Jane then swept her legs under Jeff's legs. What?
What?
Wait, let me read that again. Jane then swept her legs under Jeff's legs, knocking him over. What did she do? Did she like fucking?
I have no
Okay,
idea.
fuck
Jane
it.
all of a
It's
sudden
honestly
became
best not to
Mexico.
analyze this like deeply. It's a waste of time.
Jane was trained by the KGB.
James straight by the KGB, knocking him over. He rolled out just before she jumped on him. Jeff moved swiftly as he grabbed John and hurried out of the room. Jane chased close behind. Man, was he fast! What?
Holding someone in his arms. And I like how that entire time they were fighting, John was just standing to the side awkwardly, waiting for one of them to win.
He's just standing. He's just like, so when are you guys gonna stop fighting? I'm kind of hungry right now. It wasn't long until Jeff ran into an abandoned warehouse with John. It's like, okay, I don't think the author realizes that, you know, like, you don't just casually see abandoned warehouses, like...
Abandoned warehouse next to a hotel.
It's like there's just casually an abandoned warehouse next to a hotel, you know? It's a very common thing.
How did he get away from Jane?
I don't fucking know. Okay, we have to make this quick, Jeff said. Let me go! John screamed, his eyes begging for mercy. You killed my family! I'm the only family you ever need from now on, Jeff replied. He pulled out a bottle of some kind of beer. He smashed it over John's head.
What's the point of that?
He just takes a bottle of beer and smashes over his head. It's like, oh, you dumb fuck.
If that has nothing
this bottle of beer over your head now.
If that ends up having nothing to do with the plot, that's gonna make it even better.
Yeah, just until he was so weak. He smashed it over John's head until he was soaking in it. Jeff then pulled out a bottle of bleach and poured it over John's head. I actually had some alcohol this time around. Wait, what? Oh no, this is not going where I think it is. Stop it! What are you doing? John yelled. This will be all over soon, Jeff said, as he pulled out a lighter and swirled at John, all of course. Okay, so here's the thing. So let me get this straight. So, he poured beer and bleach on John, and apparently that's flammable. It's like...
Hold on.
That's not how it works. Bleach is not flammable, beer is not flammable, and them combined is not flammable. You are an idiot. So, yeah, the author was stupid about that. And so did John. Jane ran in just in time to hear John's horrible screams of pain and pure terror. Jeff laughed and jumped out a nearby window.
Wait, he jumped out a window in an abandoned warehouse.
Yeah, he just climbed up. He just climbed up 40 feet in the air and just jumped out a window.
Why are there windows in a warehouse?
I don't know. Oh, soon I'll see you soon. ... Bottle. Jane had no time to go after Jeff after she had to put out John's flames. She then heard police sirens. She didn't want to leave John, but didn't want to be arrested for setting the fire. I'll be back for you, she whispered and also jumped out the window. She just jumps out the window.
I give up.
He just jumps 40 feet out of the fucking window, holy shit. When John woke up, he was in a hospital bed and bandages covered most of his face. Only a small opening was there for him to see out. He tried saying, "Where am I?" But it was muffled by his covered mouth, so it just came out as, "Hmm, hmm, oh good, you're awake," a nurse in the room said. "It's been 2 weeks. We were worried." 2 weeks, John thought to himself. A few days passed and the nurse was taking care of him. They said that they would have to wait before removing the bandages. John was scared of what happened to him, but often felt that he was having trouble remembering exactly what happened. All he knew for sure was that it scared him, terrified him. When he mentioned this to the nurse, she simply said that sometimes shock can cause a blur of memories for a while afterwards. Then, strangely, shock causes people to remember the incident very clearly. After a few more days, the doctors said they would remove the coverings. When they did, they all did a slight gasp. That's an amazing sentence. 10 out of 10. This confused John. Yeah, I'm confused too about the previous sentence. What? He asked. He looked in the mirror and was a little scared. His skin was complete paper white. Oh, fuck off. And dreadfully, his once blonde hair was still short, but was now burnt black.
Does hair wait?
I don't think that's how fire works.
I don't think that's how fire.
That is not
works at
how it
all.
works. Like, if you get set on fire, your hair doesn't just turn black. Like,
It goes away.
it's like, this is just fucking stupid at this point. He realized that he looked like those two other people, Jeff and Jane. "Oh my god," John said, clearly upset, almost crying. The nurse put her arm around John, telling him it would be okay, and in time, with more surgery, he could look almost completely the way he used to. John spent the next few days in the hospital. He was trying to cope with what happened. Part of him liked it. It felt like that odd feeling, but more intense. He was having trouble remembering the things that happened to him. His mind and memories were screwed up by the traumatic event. He was more confused than anything. Then one night, Jeff snuck in. Oh no.
How does Jeff keep getting into these random places without
He just
anybody
casually sneaks
realizing?
into a hospital. Yeah, he just like breaks into a hospital at night and there's no security
Was Jeff
guards or
also
anything.
trained by the KGB?
He was trained by the
sneaks in
KGB. He knows how to break into all buildings. "Hello, John," he said in that voice. "Jeff," John said. Barley remembering things. "And how you doing, little brother?" Jeff said. "Butter?" John asked in his dazed state. Come on. I'm getting you out of this place," Jeff said. He grabbed John and pulled him out of a window. Wait, so pulled him out of a window? That implies he was already in a window. What was he doing in the
Out
window?
of one. Oh my god.
What was he doing there?
They're like in a whole hospital. Did they just fall 70 feet or something?
They just fell like 70 feet in the air.
Watch the story end after this because they fell like
Yeah,
a
the story just ends.
three-story fall.
They just both die from the impact. Okay, John didn't want to kill. He was still confused and even more so after Jeff called him his brother. Jeff handed John a pair of gray jeans, a white t-shirt, and a black hoodie to wear instead of the hospital gown.
Oh god, he's emo now.
And instead of the hospital gown that he was wearing, yeah, they're toward the fucking emo now. John quickly changed and grinned at Jeff.
Where did this come from?
grinned at Jeff. Jeff then handed John a kitchen knife. Where did he get the kitchen knife from? Did he just have it in his pocket? It's like, oh yeah, I have this kitchen knife in my pocket. Here you go. John insisted he could spike up his hair like he always used to. Jeff broke into a nearby store and stole some hair gel.
Why is this integral to the story?
Jeff broke into a nearby store and stole some hair gel for John to use. Maybe killing the crook on his way in. What? Jeff, no John, minded. Okay, so they killed a store crook to get fucking hair gel. Jeff and John left the town of West Valley a few days after that trial. They then went to the next town. They went to a town and found a group of drunken teens wandering around. No, drunken girls wandering around. This is not going very well. Jeff decided to, quote-unquote, help them. Jeff and John both attacked the girls, with Jeff telling them to go to sleep and John not really saying anything. This is how they pick up girls, they just fucking move them. Jeff tried to get John to carve a smile onto his face, but John refused. He wore a crazy smile most of the time anyway, so he didn't feel it was necessary. It felt good to help Jeff, but a part of him was upset and even guilty of the idea of what he was doing. Neither of them had realized that Jane had followed them. Oh no. She had also seen John with Jeff. Although he had changed, she still recognized him. She was angry at what Jeff had done to him. She went in to attack them both. John recognized Jane as well, but couldn't remember much of her. It wasn't long until a fight broke out between them. Jeff and Jane went at an all-out knife fight with John not sure what to do.
We're going in circles here.
Yeah, we're just going in circles at this point.
It's happening again.
John swung at Jeff with impressive speed. So what, he just swished at him some shit. However, Jeff dodged and made an attack of his own. John was watching the two of them, confused for many reasons. One, what made them fight so instantly? Two, who should he help? And three, where did he remember Jane from? John wanted to help. Jeff also knew somewhere deep down that Jane also had good reasons, so he decided it was best to not get involved at all. Jane finally got past Jeff and hurried up to grab John and ran off. John was yelling all the way for her to let go. "Shut up, I am trying to help you," Jane yelled at the kid. "I don't need help. Let go," John yelled as he started kicking. "John, Jeff isn't your friend. Don't you remember?" Jane asked, but John quieted down, but just looked at her. He wasn't sure what to think. Some part of John wanted to trust her, but another part wanted to trust Jeff. Jane kept John with her for a few more days. He constantly struggled and tried to escape, but she always stopped him. One day, John even killed a random teen walking past. John even killed a random teen walking past during his stay with Jane. Nothing too gory or worth talking about. It simply happened. Jane yelled at him, trying to convince him that he wasn't like Jeff and didn't have to be. "I'm sorry, I don't want to kill, but I can't help it," John says. Suddenly crying, his face lost that crazy smile and his eyes showed sadness and even fear of himself, of Jeff, and of whatever part of him that let him act like Jeff. He was left crying as Jane tried her best to comfort him. She could admit she had outbursts during which she killed people, imagining that the person was Jeff and using it as a quote practice for when she found him, so she could relate to John. Okay, we're almost over with this, so that's good. Jeff eventually found John and Jane. He wanted to avoid Jane altogether, so he whispered and lured John away. Jane went to talk to John and found out he was already gone. She knew Jeff had taken him, but also knew there wasn't much she could do. 1 year later, 1 year later, 1 year later, John was still slightly confused. His face showed nothing but pure insanity more often than not. He sometimes snapped back to reality. Up there goes gravity. He sometimes snapped back to reality and cried about the stuff he has done. Jeff tells him that he is weak, but it proves that part of John isn't completely lost. Jane was completely lost at all and hated Jeff. Jeff was completely lost beyond any hope, and John was completely somewhere in between the two. John spends most of his time with Jeff, but sometimes wanders off on his own and can go as long as a month without Jeff. He has never found Jane again, although he tries to often. However, John remains hesitant about exactly what he should do, and he's been known to even warn his victims before killing them. That's a bit counterproductive, isn't it? It's like,
Yeah.
it's like like
Making
here's a
it
warning.
harder.
I'm about to kill you. You know?
By the way,
Yeah,
Just-
like I'm about to kill you. But by the way, John is still out there, and it's possible you might run into him. If he is in a normal mood, then there is nothing to worry about. He might talk to you about his life. He might just hang out with you and act pretty much like a normal kid. But if you find him in an insane mood or when he's with Jeff, then watch out. You will most likely be killed, and the last thing you hear from John will be the simple question, should you go to sleep?
that does not make any sense.
Oh my god, that's
Should you go to? It's like he's asking them if they should die as they're dying.
Oh my fuck. Okay, so what did you guys think of it?
There was clearly a lot more lore that I missed out on that happened before this. Like some beef happened between Jane and Jeff
Yeah.
the Killer or something.
Yeah.
Wait, so her name is Jeff the Killer, but she doesn't like killing.
Yeah, okay, yeah.
She's against it.
Yeah, so like this story is like riddled with like hilarious plot holes and shit that doesn't make sense.
Everybody
But, like,
loves
it also
jumping out of
has
windows.
like multiple like blatant grammatical mistakes as well, so that also makes it even more shittier.
All of these 16-year-olds were trained by the KGB,
Yeah, all of them were trained by the KGB. So
getting into knife fights.
yeah, and they get into knife fights that for some reason don't kill them. They must have like really like dull knives if they don't like die like 5 seconds of fighting or some shit. But anyways, that was it for this episode. I hope you enjoyed. But anyways, have a good day and unsubscribe now.